Hey everyone, I recorded this practice, and for some reason there was a technical issue and didn't record sound, but I love the practice, so I'm going to do a voiceover for you. So namaste, welcome to your Friday Flow. I'm Carter, and today's practice is about preparing for summer, as you can tell by those silly shorts and the ridiculous headband I'm wearing. So let's get to our minute. Let's start in child's pose. So big toes together, knees can be together or apart. Start to walk onto the fingertips as you extend and lengthen through the arms. Soften the belly, the heart, and the forehead towards the ground. Feel the elongation through the lower back. Maybe even a little bit of openness through the upper shoulders. You have the subtle internal rotation of the arms so you can feel it through the outsides of the shoulders. And maybe a little rock with the head from side to side. A moment to find out where you are and what you need. And when you are trying to get a little extension, we're going to do a little side body opening. So bend the right elbow and walk that left hand up and out to the right, and you're going to come out of those fingertips to get that extension. Once you get the extension, press the palm down. That ignites the outside of the left shoulder. And then allow that left shoulder to soften towards the ground. Now you're going to have this little extension through the left side body, so invite the left hip towards the left heel, and it may take that left hand back and drag it back a little bit. And then focus on the exhalation as the body softens, or starting to open up a little bit through the left side of the ribs. The breath is smooth and deep, and as we prepare ourselves for summer, we just want to make sure that we're in the body and we're feeling the flexibility and the mobility that sometimes that we find a little frozen throughout the winter. Bring yourself back to center. A little bit of movement from side to side. Let's just do the other side. So left elbow bends to soften the left side body. Right fingertips reach up and out to the left. And again, find that extension and length. And then press that right palm down as you ignite that right shoulder. And then allow that right shoulder to drop a little bit towards the floor. And then you're just going to invite that right heel and right hip to come closer towards one another. And that right hand may slide back just a bit. You'll feel that extension through the shoulder girdle, the right ribs, and maybe all the way down to the right side of the lower back. Big inhale, slow exhales as you soften and breathe. This whole practice is about checking in, creating a little inventory. Inhale, gently bring yourself back to center. And then bring yourself up into table. So hands come under shoulders, knees under hips, and just a little bit of movement from side to side. These little movements are micro adjustments, so you can kind of feel what's going on. And you're just going to go a little bit front to back. So start to bring the hips over the knees. We're moving into playful puppy. So you're not moving the hips at all. You're just going to walk the hands forward and then lower the heart towards the ground. Now you may not get all the way down, and that's okay. If you do have the flexibility, you may be able to get the forehead down. You may be able to lift the chin as you get the throat towards the ground. And you're going to have this nice scoop of the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and you'll get a nice elongation through the shoulders. And you can even play a little bit with the arms. They can be either soft, or you can press the hands and forearms into the ground to activate the shoulders and arms. Breath is deep and free. And soften as much as you can here. It can be quite intense. And we like to spend a few moments to make sure that the body can unwind and really get a sense of that posture. And then very slowly start to bring yourself on up. Walk the hands back about halfway so the hands are in front of the shoulders, and then sink your hips forward and down. So the knees are still down. It's kind of like a sloppy up dog. We're feeling the length of the spine, and you're just going to lower the hips down until you start to feel a little bit of sensation in the lower back. Now, if you still need a little bit more, start to lift the heart and create as much space between the shoulders and ears as you can. Belly button's coming towards the floor, and then just gaze over that right shoulder. You have a little subtle twist through the lower back. Keep lifting the spine. I sure talk a lot in this. And then we're going to do the same thing other side. So gaze over the left shoulder. You can drop the right hip bone a little bit. Keep the length of the spine, so keep pressing the hands down in space between shoulders and ears. Back to center. And then gently lift the hips back. Walk the hands back. Now we're in a table pose. So knees 90 degrees, hips 90 degrees. You're just going to move a little bit from side to side and front to back as well to explore the hips. So just get a sense of the range of motion of the hips. I feel like this is kind of like the director's cut of my yoga practice here. Inhale, belly drops, cow pose, a little wag from side to side. More about fluidity than anything. Exhale, cat pose. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Little wag of the tail. Moving the shoulder blades, the side body, the spine, kind of showing off what the spine can do. And then extend and straighten the right leg. Square the hips so the right toes are straight down rather than rolling the hip out. Hands are underneath the shoulders, and that right hand's going to be spreading the fingertips nice and wide so it grounds down. Extend your left arm, spinal balance. Belly draws up and in so you're not having a big curvature in the back. Gaze over the left thumb. Maybe even roll the right ankle, wiggle the right toes. Big inhale and lift just a little bit. Take that right knee underneath the body and see if that left elbow can touch the kneecap. It could be really nice and softly. Inhale, extend, lengthen, lift up a little bit higher. Now let's do it again. So round and squeeze, see if the elbow can go a little higher on the thigh. And then inhale, extend, and lengthen, heart lifts. And then one more time, we're going to round and squeeze. And we're going to see if that elbow can come onto the outside of the thigh. So you have a little bit of twist through the obliques. And then inhale, extend, lengthen, and then stay here for a moment. Right knee's going to bend. Left hand's going to reach back. And you're going to try to grab the toes, the top of the foot, or the ankle. And then if you can get that, press the foot into the hand, lift the thigh, keep extending through the right shoulder. And if you can't get the foot, just bending the knee and extending the arm out in front of you still is okay. Let go of that foot and extend the right leg out to the right and plant the right foot down so the right foot is flat. And then lift your torso on up. So now I'm facing the camera. And we're trying to square everything to it'll be for your front of the mat. For me, where I'm at the long edge of the mat. So the hips are square, the shoulders are square. We're pushing down through the sole of the right foot. And you may start to feel it in the right groin. We're going to take the right hand and we're going to bring it on the crease of the right hip. And we're going to just massage this area. It's a very sensitive area because there's a lot of connection going on. It's hip flexor, it's groin, it's gluteus maximus and minimus. It's even the IT band. So you're pressing down. So for a little bit of the groin, a little bit to the left, so you can get a little bit into that crease of the hip. You're probably feeling it a little bit in the ankle and outside of the shin. This may be enough. You could stay right here as you square the hips and tuck the tailbone a little bit. Or you can extend the left arm up towards the sky. And then give yourself a little bit of a side bend. So you're going to swivel the left palm towards the right, extend that arm over, and the right hand can be activated, or it can just be resting on the hip. I personally prefer the chin to be fairly neutral, or maybe a little gaze underneath that left arm. And you can always rotate the left arm a little bit to get a little bit more sensation through the front of the ribs and side body. So you can kind of explore a little bit here. There's always a little bit of creativity within your practice. And a breath or two, finding the areas that are working, so finding the areas that are soft, and then bring the hands back down. And you're going to lift that right leg back up and stack the right knee on top of the left knee. We're moving into a variation of Gomukhasana, cow face pose. And the hips draw back. Gomukhasana is a very deep hip opener, so if you're tight through the hips, you may not even be able to come close to that. So if there's any sensation in the knees that are uncomfortable, you can either stack the shins or slide something underneath the hips. So I want to have you do a cross-legged pose of some sort. So I'm doing a fire log pose or a cross-legged pose, whatever is working and accessible for you. Gomukhasana, very intense. So you can even see that my knees aren't close to being stacked because I'm just too tight in the hips. I want the feet to be in the same location, so I don't want 1 foot back and 1 foot forward. So it's either they're both back or they're both forward. And then once you get there, try to stack the knees the best you can, and then you're going to lengthen through torso. Right hip is drawing towards the floor. And then you're just going to give yourself a little bit of movement from side to side to make sure you know where you're feeling it. And then the right hand comes to the floor by the hip or by the spine. The left hand comes to the right knee, and try not to collapse in the spine as you twist a little bit to the right, and you should be starting to feel something. You always have options to modify as well. So if you get into it and you need to unfold the legs, do that. Couple deep, full inhalations and exhalations. If you have a little bit more range of motion, you can take the left forearm or the elbow or even the tricep over the right thigh and try not to collapse in the spine. So we're trying to create the space within the belly. So there's a little, wringing out of the vital organs. The gaze is towards, let's say, the right thumb, and you're long through the spine. Inhale, coming back to center. A lot of times we interlace the fingers around the back in different ways. So this time we're just going to interlace both hands behind the back, and you can hinge forward if you need the sensation. For a lot of us, staying straight up is enough. Arms could come off the lower back to get a little bit more sensation in the fronts of the shoulders and chest. Micro adjustment side to side, maybe front to back. Soften the jaw a moment. A lot of hips in this practice today. It's the foundation of movement, and since the weather's getting nicer, we're probably walking, biking, rollerblading, getting out more, so I'll make sure that that's good. Slowly bring yourself on up and unwind the fingers, unwind the legs, and then take the hands to the backs of the knees, come into boat pose, so resting on the hips. You can do really anything you want with your legs. If your lower back is sensitive, maybe keeping the hands on the backs of the knees or to the floor. You can do some movement, like you're pedaling a bicycle, or you can do both legs at the same time. You can even lower halfway down. A little bit of movement, depending on the veracity that you're looking for in practice today. I think I'm saying something about getting ready for your beach body. And cross at the ankles. I can see that I amuse myself. All right, hands come down. And then we're walking back into down dog. So if this is your first down dog of the day. Think long spine. Knees can bend, heels don't have to touch. And then you can kind of play around a little bit here. I always like to try to find the pose, meaning what kind of body do I have and how do I move? A lot of curiosity in practice. Couple deep, full breaths. It's an inversion, so we get some blood to the brain, which is always a good idea. Shake the head yes and no. Soften the jaw. It's interesting. I can critique my posture now. I would want to bend my knees a little bit. Walk the hands or feet forward. Come up halfway. Flatten your back. You can adjust your stance here. Exhale, fold forward, tuck the chin, bend and straighten the knees. Maybe you wag the tail a little bit from side to side. Inhale, come up slowly. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Let's bend the elbows. We're going to come into eagle arms. Right arm underneath left arm. You can either grab the shoulders, or if you can grab the hands, go right ahead. Then you got some options with the legs. Maybe this is enough where you're standing straight, and you can maybe hinge forward or bend the knees into seated chair pose. If you want the full expression, plant your left foot down, bend the left knee, and stack the right knee on top of the left knee. Left toes or right toes can find the floor for a balance, or squeeze the ankles together. Some people can get that right foot around the left ankle. It doesn't look like I can do it today. You can sink lower into your chair, but thinking about shoulders over hips, elbows up and hands away from the face. Draw the ribs and belly in, tuck the tailbone. One more deep, full breath, or at least I think I'm doing one more breath. Yeah, unwind the arms and legs, shake it out. A little wag of the tail. Looks like I'm dancing. I have some fantastic dance moves. Again, amusing myself. All right, I'm not sure what I'm saying. It looks like I'm going to do the other side. So arms up, elbows bend. And we're going to take that left elbow underneath the right elbow. Keep in mind, right side, left side may be different. So you may not be able to grab the hands, and that's okay. And again, you can do any variation with the legs, standing forward fold, or maybe bent knees, Utkatasana legs. And then if you're wanting for that full expression, the right foot roots down, right knee bends, left knee stacks on top of right knee. Left toes can find the floor, or you can squeeze the ankles towards one another, keeping everything in towards the midline. And then I'm going to show you tucking the tailbone. A lot of us have that curvature in the lower back. As you tuck the tailbone, it comes on out. It's going to engage the belly. Shoulders over hips. My alignment's pretty good on this one. Elbows are up. Looks like I can draw my shoulders down a little bit here. I don't know, I'm still joking about something. Deep inhalation, exhalation. I'm glad I'm having fun during this practice. Unwind it all. Let it go. And again, another dance move. Looks like I'm dancing to some sort of Motown or something. All right, hands, heart center, arms reach up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward, tuck the chin, release the head, soften here. Knees can be bent. Inhale halfway as you flatten the back, lift the chin and chest. Bend the knees, walk the feet back. Plank. Lower down through upward dog or cobra, so any movement that's working well for you. And then exhale into table pose. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So a little wag of the tail, maybe a round 2 of cat-cow. Cat-cow is always a great few poses to make sure that the spinal fluid is warm. And then we're going to take care of that left leg. So left knee straightens, left heel presses back. Square in the hips. A lot of us lift that left hip because the lower sacrum is a little weak. So getting some strength here. Left hand roots down, right arm extends out. Spinal balance. Again, real strong left shoulder. So keep extending and lengthening. You can roll the ankle and wiggle the toes, and then we're going to draw that left knee underneath the body. The right elbow touches the tip of the kneecap. Maybe not. Inhale, extend and lengthen. It's the direction that we're moving, so I'm not concerned about range of motion. Again, elbow towards a little higher up on the thigh, and then inhale, extend and lengthen. And then exhale, you're going to round and squeeze and take that right elbow on the outside of that left thigh so you have a little bit of a twist. Inhale, extend and lengthen. And then stay there. Left knee bends, right hand reaches back, foot, ankle, or shin. Press the foot into the hand, lift the thigh, lift the heart. You'll feel the heat in the lower back. Keep breathing. And then right hand comes down. Sweep that left leg out to the left. Plant the foot down so the bottom of the foot is flat. It's a little bit more of a challenge than you think. Bring yourself on up and then square the hips to the front of the mat. So I'm pressing through the foot, feeling that inside of the ankle lifting, and you're getting some extension through the shin. As you rotate the pelvis, you'll start to feel it, groin, lower sacrum, and we're just trying to get a sense of the range of motion. Tuck the tailbone, left hand comes to the left hip, and again, a little massage in that region. You can come all the way to the front, all the way back to the glute. Find all the different connections in that region, which is the result of a tight lower back at times, the hip flexor. So a nice long spine. You can even slide that hand down through the IT band. Should have kind of guided you through that on the other side as well. So there is a muscle that runs from the outside of the hip to that knee. So extend that right arm up and slide that right arm over the right ear. Again, maybe it's too much for you to actually reach that arm up, and that's okay. You can keep the right hand to the hip. Still massaging the IT band. There's not a lot of yoga poses to address that. You can take foam rollers to kind of take care of the IT band. Breathe into the right ribs. A little bit of movement with the torso. So rolling that right shoulder back and forward. Searching around the body. Intimacy here. Hands come down. And then we're going to take that left knee and stack it on top of the right knee. So we're moving into that variation of Gomukhasana, or a cross-legged pose of some sort. And I think this looks like this side of my hip is much tighter. Wow. That looks a little rough right there. So square the hips, lengthen the spine, and then manipulate your feet in a way that kind of support the knees and the sensation. Big inhale, slow exhale. You're squaring the hips and inviting that left hip towards the floor. And then we're going to add a little bit of a twist here. So left hand comes to the floor, right hand to that left knee or thigh. Lengthen through the torso and gentle twist to the left. Gaze towards the left thumb. Couple deep full breaths here. And again, if you have the range of motion, take the right forearm on the outside left thigh or knee. And we want to make sure we're not collapsing in the belly. And our inhalation is a little restricted because we are pressing against the lungs. So see if you can deepen and slow down the inhalation. Exhalation is a little bit easier. It helps us twist, get into, let's say, the lower part of the belly. I have no idea what I'm talking about right here. Sometimes I go for a rant. But whatever I'm saying, I'm really saying a lot. Keeping us long into this twist. Probably because it's really tight for me and I want to hang out there a little bit longer. All right, back to center. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe bring the opposite thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lengthen the spine. This may be enough. Also, hinging forward is an option. And as you bring the hands up off the lower back, you'll feel some opening in the chest and the fronts of the shoulders. The breath is smooth and deep, free. A little exploration of the movement from side to side. Again, I'm humoring myself for some reason. At least I'm a happy yogi. Unwind the hands, come back to center, hands behind you, and unfold the legs. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to drop the knees left and right. You can twist in the opposite direction of the knees to get a little bit of mobility in the lower back. You can even pause. Did a lot of work with hips today, so the lower back does need a little attention, and slowly lower your back all the way to the floor. Hands are by the side body, palms up or down. Looks like we're going into a bridge pose. So you can do a half bridge or you can do a full bridge. You can squeeze the shoulder blades together and interlace the fingers, possibly coming onto your tippy toes if you feel like you need that. Keep the chin square to the chest, so try not to look right and left. And then you're lifting with the sternum, the belly, the hips, maybe even the upper thighs, so you get this nice front body opening. The breath is deep and free. You can even press the triceps, the sides of the hands into the ground to support that extension and support. Lower the heels, release the hands, very slowly lower the hips. And then windshield wiper the knees side to side to make sure the back is taken care of. And then draw the thighs or knees towards the belly chest. And some circles clockwise, counterclockwise. Open up the legs a little wider. Thighs come towards the rib cage. And then let's come into happy baby. Grab the shins, the bottoms of the feet, ankles, whatever's working. Ankles come over the knees. Feet are nice and wide. You're going to rock a little side to side. And when you are ready, release the feet, come into Shavasana. Heels find the corners of the mat. A little external rotation of the thighs so the feet fall open. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly, or palms up by the side body. Take a nice big inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth. Exhale, let it all go and soften. And a moment just to find stillness. All right, everybody, bring your awareness to your surroundings as you deepen your breath. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes, roll the wrists and ankles. Extend the arms up over your head. Stretch from your fingers all the way down to your toes. Get nice and long. And on your exhalation, draw the knees towards the belly. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a little loving kindness. Right arm reaches up over your head. Gently roll to your right side. And as you bring your awareness to your body, you are prepared for summer. Plant the hands down. Gently bring yourself on up. Comfortable seat. Left hand to heart. Right hand top. Left hand tuck the chin. And namaste. All right, everybody. Voiceover practice done. If you like this practice, thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to add a 10-minute Shavasana, click here. If you want to add 20 more minutes, click here. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel by clicking on my photo there. All right. Let me know what you think about this voiceover. It was fun to do. I'll see you guys later. I love you. Namaste.